Hello, good day. Right now we have a governor who just pardoned a pedophile. Okay, pardoned him, released him from prison, so he wouldn't have to get deported. Okay, so if you voted for Governor Walz, now you're supporting a pedophile. Okay, if you voted for him, okay, if you're associated with him, if you were a judge appointed by him, okay. I mean, if you live in a state with a governor that did that, now you're living in a state that is complicit in pedophilia. Okay. Now here's what I don't get is, I understand. I don't really understand how the riots of George Floyd kind of took off to the point they did. But you don't think there'd be riots or protests outside the governor's mansion for Governor Walz releasing a pedophile? Because that's how many people have sympathy, okay, with pedophiles in the state of Minnesota. That's how big it is. And that's why he was allowed to get away with it. And there's no riots, there's no protests, okay, there's no calls for him to immediately resign, okay. Like if you play hockey or if you're an athlete or you're like a boxer, okay, Governor Walz would have the shit kicked out of him for doing that. You know what I mean? If you were on a hockey rink, okay, like a junior hockey team, like I played on, our coach would tell you to go beat the shit out of the guy. You know what I mean? That's the era, that's the generation I grew up in. But right now, we're growing up in a society that is sympathetic towards pedophilia. Okay, just imagine if this guy, that kid that this guy molested, and I'm sure there's more than just one. Imagine if you were those parents, or if you were that kid, and the governor of the state of Minnesota just pardoned him. How would you feel? You would feel helpless. You would feel like nobody cares about you. And that goes for all children that get put into this stuff. There's no way that you should want to live in a society or even think it's normal to have a governor to do that. Or even have judges give pedophiles sweetheart deals. Like right now, there's more dads in jail or prison, for not paying child support than a lot of first-time pedophilia offenders even get. They get to walk like scot-free. Do you realize the society your children are growing up in? Okay, so if you live in the state of Minnesota, it's not only the state of fraud, but now it's the state of pedophilia, thanks to what the governor did. And is that not front page news on the Star Tribune or Pioneer Press or local newspapers? I mean, every single day until Governor Walz is out of office. The guy just pardoned a pedophile that was going to get deported. He's here illegally, right? Okay. Now, what else does that tell you about the governor? Whoever told him to do this, he didn't just do it out of nowhere. Whoever is telling him to do this have a lot of dirt on Governor Walz. I mean, he's a dirty, dirty governor. Okay. Whatever judge or whatever politician told him to release this pedophile and pardon him. Okay. We need to find that out. We need to trace back this entire story to how it all even unfolded. Are you not curious about how a governor of a state pardoned a pedophile who was set to be deported by the federal government? And yet now this guy gets to walk free and stay home. He gets to roam the streets with your children, thanks to our governor. I don't think enough people are talking about that. So if you're a Governor Walz supporter, if you voted for him, even if you're in the Democratic Farmer Labor's Party, you're all now pedophiles, thanks to what Governor Walz did. I want you to understand that, because you don't have any, you don't have this mechanism for the protection of children and their well-being. You'd rather, stick with your party. And that's what sports do in your mind. It's either a win or a loss. Oh, we won that one, we lost that one. We shouldn't treat children like they're a sport with pedophilia. Okay? It's not something you should mess around with. It should be stomped out of society a long time ago. If we had any real men that wanted to stand up for it and against it, you wouldn't have any pedophilia, because it would be stomped out immediately. Literally. These guys would get their asses kicked. If it was like hockey or boxing, these guys would pay the price for molesting a child. But that's not how we do it in this society, and that's how the pedophiles like it. Okay? You can't touch them or you're going to get in trouble. So I want people to understand that you live in a one of the most sinister societies known to mankind currently in the 21st century. And there's pedophiles all around in the state of Minnesota because we have a governor that is a sympathizer to it. And now I'm going to lump him. He probably is one. Okay? Now anybody in the Democratic Farmers Labor Party, now you're all pedophiles because of your governor. Have a great day, everybody.